Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Fixing It Up with Sandra. And in case you guys didn't know, I'm Sandra. So today we are going to be making a different style of wreath. I just made one earlier, hence the same outfit. It was a really cute, I'm like, oh, let me adjust. It's a really cute Easter wreath that I just made. However, I made the wreath that we're gonna do today, I made for a friend of mine for her wedding. Instantly fell in love, so I had to make another one and show you guys how I made it. Today's wreath, dun, 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 is gonna be a wine barrel ring wreath. So this is kind of like the rustic-y farmhouse vintage style wreath, okay? You don't have to, if you're like, where in the hell am I gonna get a wine barrel ring for to make a wreath? You don't have to use a wine barrel ring. I live in Northern California, kind of in like wine country. So these are usually found at most yard sales. So that's how I come across this. You can use a wood round if you have those. I know that some of the craft stores, they have some wood big rounds. You don't have to get one as big as this. You can use a different size. You just adjust the greenery that we're gonna put on here. But this is what I have. And I know people are gonna ask, so let me just go grab a measuring tape and I'll tell you what size this wreath ring is. I'll be right back. Wine barrel ring is 26 and a half in diameter. So that's how wide this is. A lot of this is gonna be kind of like an overhead view because this is gonna have to lay on the table for the most part. This will get messy, at least with me. When I make this wreath, I get glue everywhere. Let me show you some of the things that we're gonna be using before I change the view. I went to Michael's and I got some cute stems. I got 2 of this faux eucalyptus. I am a sucker for stems like this. So 2 stems of eucalyptus, 2 stems, they're just spring stems. I wanted to have a little bit of like different textures with my wreath. And then I got 2 of this felt. It's really soft. It just says it says spring. 2 of these. You can use real greenery on here. The only thing is that, yes, when you put it on, it's gonna be beautiful, it's gonna be gorgeous, it's gonna be green, all of the fun things. You have to remember that it will dry out and possibly fall off. I did this style of a wreath for Christmas, and I did it with some Christmas tree clippings all the way around. Oh my gosh, with some dried fruit. It was so pretty. I loved it. And of course, I did it when the greenery was just fresh cut, super sweet. As it dried out, it started to crumble and kind of fall off. And it's glued on. So I'm like, man, am I gonna have to like just, take a little chisel and like get it all off and then redo this, for the following year. So if this is something that you're like, I want to have it all year long. I don't want it to kind of crumble. I don't want any of that stuff that will happen when you use real greenery. Just go with the faux stems. I never pay full price for them. I always make sure that I get, at least 40% off or more. And depending on the seasons, like if you buy them after like the spring stems, in fall, they're usually at a great discount. They're about 70% off at Michael's. That's where I mainly get my stems. But just don't pay full price if you can avoid it. And use whatever blend you want. You don't have to do these that I have right here. I just happened to make this for a wedding for someone and instantly fell in love. So it's just gonna be simple greenery on the wine barrel ring. I'm gonna make a bow. For my friend, I did a black and white checkered ribbon bow for her, which is so cute. But I thought I'd change it up a bit for myself. I got this at Michael's. This was in their Just Peachy section, so it was discounted. I did not pay the $9.99 that is on here. I want to say it was $5.99. And then I got this really cute, I've never used a ribbon like this, meaning with the decorations. And I thought, let's just pair these together. I'll show you how I do that later on. Again, this is in the Just Peachy collection. And so again, it was $5.99. So I'm gonna add these two. I do have, usually I just use my rinky-dink little glue gun, which has always worked well for me. But because I am working on the this kind of a frame, I step it up a notch, and I have Gorilla Glue. And these are the giant glue guns because I have, now this glue gun is a savage. It's this Roby glue gun. It gets extremely hot, and I mean, will take the skin off your fingers hot if you get it on your fingers or anywhere else. It's hot. I love that when I'm doing really heavy duty crafts, things that I'm like, okay, this is gonna be for a customer. It cannot fall apart. It has to be on here really well. I love this. And again, I'll put it in the description box, Roby, okay? This is it drips constantly. So I just use a paper plate because I just toss this when I'm done to have something underneath it for when it drips. That is just something that glue gun does. I think all the glue guns do that because even my little one does. So I have that. I do have floral tape that I got at the dollar store because we're gonna wrap our stems. And then we also have zip ties. We're gonna need this because we're really gonna wanna secure this down. Because even though I'm using the Gorilla Glue on this metal frame, it doesn't always hold it down perfectly, and you'll start to see sometimes the edges popping up. And I really want to make sure that this is secured. So now it's time to start our wreath. So we have the frame, and I'm just gonna lay this in front of me. What I'm gonna do first is just tear off these little tags, some scissors. I don't like to keep the full length of the stem on here. So some of them are really easy to kind of, trim. This one is wrapped, so I'm gonna see if I can cut this at a shorter length. I usually just try to go for about maybe 5 to 6 inches. At least that's what I did on my other frame. If you just give it a couple of twists back and forth, I felt the thing break. Now I'm just going to try to find where I can cut it. Now you got these heavy duty scissors. Hopefully they're gonna work. Now if it starts to unravel where you're like taking, breaking the stem, you have your floral tape, and you can just wrap around it. Once we put the glue on there, it'll stop unraveling. All right, this is just gonna be a minute. Now, if I had wire cutters, wouldn't be so bad. There we go. I'm just gonna kind of bend it to the shape of the frame, and then just lay it in here. This is not, I like to do kind of like just kind of prep it a little bit, but without doing any gluing or anything like that, just to kind of see where I'm at. So this is another one of the same style. And this is a quick, easy wreath. Okay, come on. There we go, just broke. This is a quick, easy wreath. Super cute. You can do it as a gift for yourself. Kind of fold it, bend it a little bit, lay it out. I will do a different angle here in just a moment, so once I get these laid in there, so you can see. Now before I break this stem off, before I do that, I kind of like, okay, well, where is this gonna go? Kind of higher, just so I don't get it too short. And again, I know I should totally have had wire cutters, but I work with what I got. I'll do that. And I only go halfway up the wreath, or the frame. Actually, I'm gonna do a little bit longer. Let me just get these laid in here, and then I will change the angle. Okay, a little bit higher up. I've tried looking for inspiration like on Pinterest and stuff like that. These wreaths are actually not that, I don't know if they're just not that popular or if people just aren't posting videos on how to do this. This kind of a stem is so much easier to break. And because I said that, watch, it's not gonna break easy. Usually they have like little tabs where they break so much easier. I knew it was gonna happen. It's because I said that. Okay. And you can even use greenery from the dollar store. I just went the other day and found some really, oh, I forgot to take that price off. Some really cute greenery, which would be really cute for like a smaller frame of a wreath. Super cute, which I still might actually do. All right. So I've got a total of 6 stems on here. That's what I'm working with. And this is a really fast one. All right. And then once everything is glued down, that's when I kind of go back through and spread out the leaves and everything like that. All right, I'm gonna adjust the camera so you can see what I'm doing, okay? All right, here's what we've got going on. Like I said, it's still not glued. I've just got it laid in there. And this is the point where you can do any adjustments, you know, kind of layer it a little bit differently if you want. Like I said, I try to just go only halfway up the stem, halfway up the barrel. But if you want to do, you know, if you're like, no, I want to make it go all the way around, do that. You can add flowers to this. This is just like a base, I guess you can say. This is like the base. You can just get as creative as you want with it. I just loved the greenery. It was so simple and so just classic that I just was like, okay, I'm just gonna do greenery. So here we go. Now it's time to start gluing and securing our greenery to our frame. Ready to start gluing. So I'm gonna start with my first layer, which is gonna be this thin piece right here. Oh, I thought that was broke for a second. So I'm gonna start with this thin piece right here. I'm gonna add some glue to the stem and then secure it in the center of this ring. Be very careful if you have this gun and you just ordered it and you're not sure how it works. This glue is extremely hot. I usually try to wear, you can see the steam coming off of this, I'm not sure. I usually wear like these little fingertip things, but I didn't bring them out here with me. I am so worried about getting burned. All right, it's drying on here. And even though this is really strong glue, we're still gonna, like I said, cover it with or wrap it with our zip ties, and then we're gonna wrap around it with our floral tape just so we don't have to see all of that, all of these stems. It'll just kind of make it look a lot nicer. All right, got tons of glue all over my finger. Now take this and kind of bend it to the shape that I want. I'm gonna bring that in the center. Now I'm gonna do this one a little different. I'm just gonna glue where I want this. And I don't know if you can see the steam coming off of this glue, No joke. If you are doing this on your dining room table like I am and you love your dining room table, make sure that you put something underneath because the glue will drip down, obviously gravity, but I plan on sanding this entire table down during the springtime or summer. And so I'm not real concerned about the glue getting on my table. But if you love your table, make sure that you've got it protected. Add a little bit more glue right here. Because this is all going to be wrapped up, nobody's going to see this glue. I like to use a ton of it. I want to make sure that once I get this all completed, that there is no way that this thing is budging. All right. It's gonna take a minute. I got these from the dollar store. They actually help out a lot. I forgot I had these right here. These little clamps, dollar store, clamp it down, then I'm gonna glue it. It saves on the finger strength. So we're gonna let that dry for just a moment. And then I'm gonna stand it up to just, again, see where it's at. Because we have it clamped down, I think I can go ahead and lift it without it coming apart. All right, so here's what we've got. And then now this is gonna be my outer edge. So now I'm gonna start filling in this inner edge, this inner part. If you don't, like this one kind of, see it kind of like dangles off to the side. I think I might add a little bit of glue with my smaller glue gun to just kind of tuck it to the frame. So this is where I like to make adjustments and whatnot to my floral pieces. Yeah, I think I might take a little bit of glue and then just kind of hold that, adhere that to that edge and maybe this little piece right there. But for the most part, I'm completely happy with how this is going. So now it's time to add on our second layer. I think, and you don't have to do it in whole pieces like this. You can break it off, which I think I might do for this. Okay, I'm gonna add this second layer. Now this is kind of a thicker stem as well. I think that's good. These actually come in super handy. So if you have these, definitely use them. I didn't realize like how handy that was. And it really helps, saves your fingers from burning. We're gonna do one stem at a time. So clamp that down. All right, I'm getting it into all the cracks and crevices and to just kind of stop it from dripping all over my table, I'm just gonna lift this up just a bit. But see what I'm doing. Just make sure that you don't glue your clamp down. I've already got drips all over my table. It just picks right off for the most part. All right, there's what we've got right here. While this is drying, I think I'm gonna break off these little stems. I think this stem right here, this is a little too bushy for me. So I'd like to be able to just insert these smaller pieces throughout the other greenery. Really eucalyptus would be really nice. That's the one plant that I know that I have it dried in my bathroom, and it doesn't tend to fall apart. So maybe that would be one that you could use that's live. Okay. So again, I'm going to set this up. Add a little glue right there on top of this eucalyptus. Loving it. Usually I have like something on the table to hold this up, but because I want you to be able to see every single step, I'm just going to use, just hold it up like this. Okay, so I'm going to remove that clamp and lay it back down. Break this one apart and put one of the smaller pieces of eucalyptus on that side. And try to keep it as even as possible. Like what I do on one side, I do on the other. Just add some, sorry if I'm looking down, so sorry if I go cover the camera. All right, there we go. So see how cute this is coming out or turning out? And then this is the part that we are going to wrap with the stem or the floral tape. So now this glue, now the eucalyptus stem is somewhat dried on there. I'm going to lay this back down. And, oh, I see what I missed. See? That's what happens when I get a little distracted. I can still add this in here. The glue is not quite dried on this side. So I'm just gonna add my clamps. Thank goodness that glue is not hot because I have my fingers all in it. Look, oh, there it is. Looking for my other little clamp. So I'm going to stand this back up and add glue to that one stem that I forgot. Okay, so this is what we have going on. I know it's like hanging over right there, but that'll all be fixed once we've got everything secured down. We'll arrange the stems to kind of, not be so flimsy like that. That'll be our end step. This side's doing, this side's doing pretty well. So we're just gonna let that dry. And we just trim this eucalyptus stem right here. We've got so much glue on here, or at least, I have so much glue on here that it's just taking a moment. But in the meantime, I can look to see where I'm gonna place my next stem. Maybe on the outer side. Kind of turn this around. I see exactly where I want to place this one piece. Now what's cool about this is that there's no wrong or right way to do this. I just wanted to do a video to show you guys in case you randomly happen to have a wine barrel ring laying around and you're like, what can I possibly do with this? Well, let me show you. And it's just another way to show you how wreath making can be so much fun. It doesn't have to be your basic, deco mesh wreath. There's so many different styles of wreath making that you can get creative any old way. Okay. Man, I'm telling you, these dollar store clips have surely saved my fingers. So I'm gonna clip this one down right there. wow, there's like little pokey things on these, on this band. Oh, they're the nails. The other ones that I did for the wedding did not have these nails in the wreath. So I'm not familiar with the nails in the wreath, but I don't know if you can see them, but okay. Here's our wreath. I'm gonna let it sit up like this so it can dry. And then as soon as it's dried, I'm gonna lay it down and then start adjusting the stems to kind of be more like pulled together instead of just, you know, falling like that. It'll look really cute. Then we're gonna work on our bow and we're done. All of the glue seems to be dried. So I'm gonna take off these clamps. And we have all 6 of our stems on here. Try to get you guys a better view. Now I'm gonna lay this down, kind of bring all of this greenery into the center, like that. And remember what I said, I wanted to make sure that this was really secured on here. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a couple of zip ties and put it onto the frame, wrap this down. I kind of weave it through the stems, just certain stems I don't want to hold down too much. All right, make sure you guys can see me. Get that down nice and secured. Because we're going to be covering this with our floral tape, you're not going to see this. And this is going to be towards the back anyways, because that way nobody gets scratched from when we cut this edge off. Use as many zip ties as you feel comfortable with. Stand this up. Okay, I'll probably use one more like higher up. Now, of course, when you use the zip tie higher up, you can't really cover it with the floral tape, so I just kind of bring it around towards, you know, underneath the greenery, just to kind of hide that, the front part of it. Be careful not to cut your stems. So you'll see the outer part of that, but you won't see the end, or the end piece. I'll do one more just to make sure that I've really got it secured. There we go. Okay, here we go. This is still hanging off, you know, kind of, you know, like that. We are gonna fix that with a little bit of glue once I finish with laying it down like this, because it's gonna be easier to do obviously when it's standing up. So I'm gonna do all of the steps that I need to while it's laying down, and then we'll bring it up. So now I'm gonna take this floral tape and wrap it around the zip ties and around the stem. Okay, let me just bring this to you so you know what I'm talking about. See the stems and the zip ties right there? I'm gonna wrap that with the floral tape just to make it look pretty. We're gonna be putting a bow over this section anyways. So if you don't have this floral tape, which you can get at the dollar store, it's okay. We're gonna be covering this. I just like to make it look a little bit nicer if I can. I wrap it around the leaves. just kind of weave it through. And I like to cover the hard edges of the zip ties. Feel free to go around as many times as you want when doing this. All right. If you are fast forwarding through this part, it's okay. I'm just trying to concentrate and get this all the way around without scratching myself on this. And I'm not sure that if you guys can really hear me because I'm facing down, so I hate to have people say, well, I can't hear what you're doing, or can't hear what you're saying because you're not facing the camera. But I'm just going around this, the zip ties and the stems. And it just makes it, it just gives it like a cleaner look, a cleaner edge to it, especially if you're doing this for like, you know, a gift or for a wedding or whatever. You know, you don't want all of those, you know, our little, you know, zip ties and all that stuff. You don't want that showing. Then I just go back over. And plus I would hate for somebody to scratch themselves on it. Those zip ties, those edges, once you cut them off, can be brutal to your skin. All right, that's enough. Let me show you what this looks like. So that's what we have right there. See how I wrapped it around that one piece of stem? But again, a bow is gonna cover it anyways, but this is what we have. That's our bottom piece right there. See how the zip ties are sticking out, but at least they're covered. So they're a little bit safer. All right, now I'm gonna try to get this to stand up so I can now adjust the leaves to kind of, you know, not fall over onto the sides, but like kind of stay in the center. Let me grab my wreath frame or my wreath stand. So here is a different view of the wreath. I have it on a wreath stand, which I got at Michael's. I wanna say they were about $5. You can also buy them on Amazon. I just happened to be at Michael's, and so I grabbed one while I was there. This is holding up the wreath, or the wine barrel frame. See, there's those little pokies right there. My goodness. But now we're gonna adjust our stems to be more inside here, like I said a few times, but just kind of go over that. But I wanted to give you a different perspective of the frame. So here's a different view. I'm gonna go ahead and use my smaller glue gun to glue these little pieces down onto the frame. If this is something that doesn't bother you, you're like, you know what, I kind of like how it overhangs like that, then don't worry about this step. It's just personal choice. I'm just like, I want it to be a little bit more, you know, in the center. And I just do little dabs of glue throughout the frame. There we go. Now you can see what I'm doing. That's it. You can also glue some of the stems together to make them, you know, kind of pull together like that. I don't need that really hot glue. Okay, I like that one. That's not too shabby. Okay. This one seemed to stay pretty well. And then after this, we're gonna do our bow and we're done. These also have wire in them, so you can always bend them as well. You don't have to glue them down. Okay, just needed a couple of, oh, there's that one that I was looking for. That, turn this around so I have a different view. This is what I was trying to fix. I thought I had already done it, but apparently not. So I don't want to glue any of my leaves down. I just want to glue the stem. So I'm just moving all of my leaf out of the way to avoid that. Okay, just a little bit of glue. Got my clamp that has been just proven to be a lifesaver. And kind of move these onto the barrel rings. You can use the heavy duty glue gun if you are like, you know what, I really want to make sure that this is sticking. But for me, it's just easier to get in these little cracks and crevices with this little tiny one. So I'm just gonna use this one. I'll let that dry for a moment. Go ahead and open up our ribbon. And I'm gonna use my Bodabra again. I used it in a previous video. I'm gonna use it again just because it was just so easy to make my bow. And if you've never even heard of it, I'll explain what a Bodabra is once I pull it out. That way you totally know what I'm talking about. Just about finished here. These stems are very flimsy. I didn't realize how flimsy they were. It's taking a little bit more glue than I thought I was gonna. It's taking a little bit more glue than I actually thought it was going to take. So just bear with me. I'm just about done. All right, last piece of glue is on here. Let me see if I can actually just let the clamp do the work. Nope, it's not gonna work. I actually have to hold this on. And just looking for that Bodabra here on the table. I think I might have set it over somewhere else, but I'll grab that and then we'll get started. While my stems are drying, we're gonna go ahead and make our bow. So as I mentioned before, I'm gonna use my Bodabra. This is a Bodabra. It says Bodabra. I think there are other makes and models of this. This is about 15 bucks on Amazon. It is so worth it. If you're new to bow making like I am, I love this. I can't seem to hold all of the ribbon in one hand while trying to create those perfect loops. I always get to like the last loop and then my bow completely falls apart. So this has been a game changer. I do want to say that there is a little piece that goes across here that'll push your ribbon down. That is in my office. This will still work. I'll show you just exactly what I mean. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this, and I think I might use a zip tie. In my other videos, we used a pipe cleaner, but I need a longer one than this, so that's why I'm gonna use what's right in front of me. I'm gonna use a zip tie, and you can use floral wire, you can use any kind of, you can use string, whatever you want to secure your bow. So normally what you would do is if you have like pipe cleaner or whatever, you would just tuck it under like this. This is obviously not gonna tuck under, so I'm just gonna kind of leave it like that. And then I'm gonna set it off to the side. So I put that in this center right here. So you just put that in, make sure that it's in the correct position, like, you know, for your zip tie to work. That way you don't have to adjust it once you've got all your ribbon in there. Now I want to have, what are they? My goodness, I'm losing my mind. I want to have like a dangly piece. Oh my gosh, I'm just gonna call it that. It'll come to me after I end the video what that is in fact. Tails. So I'm probably gonna go with 17 inches, which is the length of my mat. I'm gonna get my little cutter right here, and I'm gonna cut, actually, I'm sorry, I'm gonna cut 18 inches. You know, I'm gonna use scissors. So we're gonna do 17 inches of this fabric, or this ribbon. This is super cute. This is a 4-inch ribbon. And you know what? I just made a mistake. I think I'm going to do, I actually wanted my tails to be that long, so I forgot to double it. So that's my apologies. Hopefully you didn't, you watched this video and then cut. We're still gonna use this piece though, okay? I wanna let you know we're still gonna use this. I'm not gonna let it go to waste. So I'm gonna do 18, and then I'm gonna fold it in half because my mat is small, and then just find the other piece. So yeah, this is why I always, my golden rule is to always measure twice before I cut, and I failed to do that. So I ended up with a piece that's cut that is not gonna be for what I originally intended. However, we're still gonna use it. So we're gonna do that. Now that I've got this, we're gonna make the ends of it super cute. We're gonna cut them. You're gonna fold this in half, take both your pieces like this. You're gonna fold it in half, start in the center, and cut towards the outer edge. Just gives it a fancier little look. This is my center. I'm gonna bring back my bodabra. I'm gonna pinch the center together like this, so this is what we got. And in this opening, the opposite opening, not this opening, but this opening, I'm gonna lay my tail in there like that, okay? So that's where that's gonna go. Now we're gonna start, this is our tail, this is what's gonna dangle off. Now we're gonna start with our actual bow. So I'm gonna alternate between this and that. So I'm gonna set this aside. Now I wanna see how big I want my loops. How big do I want it? I hold it up to my wreath. Okay, this looks like a good size to me. So when I find out the size, and make sure you always have a little bit of give. So this is about the size that I want. So I'm gonna take this and measure it. Again, about, it's 17.5 inches. Now remember, this is one side. We also have to have another side, you know, to do it twice for the other side. So this is where I believe my middle's gonna be. Fold it over. And then just to make sure. Nope, you know what? I'm glad I did that. Because I'm like, nope, that doesn't look right. Because I want them to be like poofy, you know, like not floppy, poofy. Okay. Maybe that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So this, I'm ending up with .28 inches total. And I know you're probably going, okay, she's all over the place when it comes to this ribbon thing. But that's why I always try to play around with my ribbon before I actually make the cut. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay the fabric, the pretty side down, make sure there's a little give, place that on top of my tail, okay? I'm gonna take this other end, fold it around, so now we have our pretty side up, but also take this, place it into your bodabra like that, find the center, pinch it under like that, and put it in. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that it is even. See that? It's even. That's what I like. Okay. So that's one of them. Now, let's see, actually I want to see, might make this one, I'm going to do a couple of layers. So I'm going to make this one just a little bit longer. So I'm going to make this one right here just a little bit longer than that one by maybe like 4 inches. So this is a total of 32 inches, okay? And I'm actually gonna put that bottom on the bottom. I'm so sorry, you guys. I am just learning how to make bows. That's why this is such a beginner tutorial, because this is the stuff that I do. I'm just showing the world how I operate. So put that one piece in, make sure there's a give, put another piece in, make sure there's a give, and find the center, fold it under, place it down. That looks a lot better. Again, this is why I like being a beginner, because we're allowed to do these kinds of things. We're allowed to, I don't even call them mistakes. They're not mistakes, because it's crafting and creating. So it's never a mistake. As you can see, we can just readjust. Okay. Now that's looking cute. So what we're gonna do is when we pull this out, we're gonna readjust our bow to make it kind of fluffy. So we're gonna set that aside. I might alternate, but I don't want, that'll probably be the last piece. So I'll do another piece of my pink flowered ribbon. Good Lord, Sandra, I'm gonna do this one more time. I wanna make sure that I've got the exact same length, which is, and I'll give you that measurement in just a second. It's like, how many times am I gonna pull that out of there? Okay, so 18. That is 29. So one more time for the cheap seats in the back. We're gonna put that in, give it a little give to the other side. Make sure it has a little give. And center, tuck it under, place it down. We're gonna do the same thing with our other piece. Give it a little give, give it a little give, wrap it over, give it a little give, tuck it in, bring it up, pinch the center together, and bring it down. All right, and I like to just make sure that it's still the same size. They match. Okay, now we're gonna do our one piece that we cut that I said was way too small, and we're just gonna do that as the center. So I'm gonna make sure there's a little give right here, roll it over, make sure there's a little give. And that's super important, because what happens is when you go to tie this up, if there's not enough overlapping tuck like that, this bow is gonna fall apart. It has happened to me quite a few times. Then you just have to start the whole process over, because it's not the end of the world. But here's what we got. I love it. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take, let me just turn this to the side. We're gonna take both, our two sides of our securing thingy. We're gonna slowly lift this up. And as we lift this up, it's gonna bring our ribbon up, okay? And I'm still, like I said, getting used to this. So here we go. I'm using a zip tie, so this is what I have. So I'm gonna start putting my zip tie through its securing mechanism. I'm gonna start, as I bring it up, I'm gonna start to just squeeze down, and you would do this with whatever else you are using. Kind of pull it up. Now I'm gonna turn my zip tie to the back, because I don't want this part in the front. So I'm just gonna secure that. All right. Cut that end off. Move that to the side. Here is our bow, just out of the Bodabra, okay? Now, I'm gonna start fluffing. If you get to this point and you're like, you know what? I don't like this bow. It's not working for me. It's not my fave. Then just undo it. No biggie. I have done that quite a few times and I was like, well, that sounded good in my head. And then when I get it all done, I'm like, you know, it's okay. Just have fun with this. There we go. Can you see? This is what I like about it. And it saves on the finger strength, just like how the clamps worked for gluing down. It saves on the finger strength. There's no way that I probably could have hold all of this and then let go. As you can see, I make a bunch of mistakes or, you know, have to re-measure all that stuff. So this is fun. If you have like arthritis or carpal tunnel or anything like that, you know, you just don't want to use all that finger strength, get one of these. Like I said, they're about 15 bucks. They do have their own website, YouTube, all of that stuff where you can find tons and tons of ways to make bows. Okay, so you're probably thinking like, okay, how are we adjusting this? Or how are we attaching this to our wreath frame? So because I use a zip tie, I'm now gonna take a pipe cleaner or Chanel stem, whichever, whatever you call these. I'm just gonna wrap it around where that zip tie was at and just give it a couple of twists, and then we're gonna secure it onto our frame. Be careful if you use the zip tie because that edging that you cut off is very sharp. And what's nice is that because we have this little center, you're not gonna see the pipe cleaner or the zip tie. All right, now it's time to get our wreath and attach this. And I'm gonna show you a homemade wreath stand right here that you can do yourself. If you don't want to go out and buy this, if you have these materials at home, you can totally do it yourself. So let's flip this camera around. Okay, so here we have a homemade wreath stand. It's just a white plumbing pipe right here, and it's just been wrapped right here. It's just been wrapped. It's got a base that has a wrap on it as well, which is just wood. And then I bought this hook at the dollar store and then just wrapped it with duct tape. That's all I did. And we're gonna hang our wreath on here and then secure our bow. And I'm gonna show you that step as well. All right, here she hangs. And we're gonna secure our bow to the center. And you can glue your bow down or you can secure it like I am, which I hope my pipe cleaner wraps all the way around. If it doesn't, I just might end up gluing this. And I don't think it will, so let me just get a little dab of glue on here. I'm just gonna tuck these pipe cleaners in. Oh my goodness, that glue is so hot, it makes me so nervous. And we're gonna glue it right there. I hope you guys can completely see what I'm doing. Readjust our ribbon. Oh, it needs to dry just a little bit more. I think this is my new favorite style of wreath making. It's just so simple, yet so beautiful. And then you can just adjust your ribbon as you like. Try to make it as poofy as possible. Let's see if we've got Nope, not quite yet. What do you guys think so far? Please let me know what you guys think of this wreath. I do not have any more wine barrel rings right now, so there's no way I can show you a different style using this. If I do come across more of these, like I said, we live in an area where they are, you know, pretty much at every yard sale, but we're not in yard sale season, so hopefully in spring I'll have a few more of these to show you, you know, how you can style them with flowers and other cute little things. If you want, you can always hang something from the top and let it dangle in the center, which I've seen super cute. All right, I think that glue is just about dried, and let me get you a better view of this
How
wreath.
pretty is this wreath? Oh my goodness. I love the blend of greenery. I'm really happy about the ribbon, and it just came out exactly the way I was hoping that it would. I really love this wreath. And this is something that can go outside. This is something that I can hang on my front door. It could go inside. And like I said, it's really cool because it's like that perfect rustic-y, like farmhouse style wreath. So this is really popular right now. So you might have a friend that's really into that. This would be a great gift. I'm just really excited about how this came out. Look at that.
So that was today's wreath. I know wine barrel rings aren't just laying around everywhere, so if you're not able to get access to a wine barrel wreath, don't worry, you can use wooden rounds, whatever you think that you can get creative with. Use whatever you have handy. So this is just something that I like to do with, like, upcycle a lot of different things. Like I said, I made one for a friend for her wedding, and it just turned out so beautiful that I had to have one myself. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please hit the thumbs up and let me know that this is the kind of videos that you want to see. Also, if you like all the content that I'm sharing with you, all the beginner stuff, please subscribe to my channel. I am a beginner, so we're gonna be doing a lot of different things just on that level, that beginner level. And of course, if you wanna make sure that you never miss a video, make sure that you're hitting that little notification bell so you know when I get super excited and upload a video before Friday, because I think that's gonna be happening for at least a few months. But anyways, thank you again so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments or constructive criticism, please feel free to leave it below. I will leave all the information that I can think of in the description box, but if I forget anything, believe me, I will definitely reply to your comments or questions in the section below. All right, thanks everyone, and have a fabulous day.